I'm
of
a
the
bit.
club. So when players are coming up through the system, they all know what their jobs are supposed to be.
Here's the thing though, because technical director, I never heard of that. I'm kind of like Stephen Field. What is a technical director in FFS? I'm kind of old school. I think that now we just got a little bit of extra budget, so we just make up a job and hire somebody in that we know. I don't know. I mean, it's kind of
But
weird.
again, I mean, you've said this,
But you
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 know,
mentioned somebody that helps determine the team how to play it. How does that?
confidential can reveal, but this was revealed, as you've just said,
Yeah,
before Paul Mitchell got the
I know
bulletin.
that, but this is calling for a technical director to be involved in football, so it can't be really a DOF or a DOF junior.
No, the
I don't know.
DUF picks the
And
technical director.
my thoughts around it, if it's not going to be a director of football, the technical director would be working with Eddie on how the team is actually going to move forward, identifying the players that fit the system that Eddie wants to play, and
Mm-hmm.
then get, augmenting the youth system, which they've done a lot of work in over the following season, previous seasons, so that we're not having to go out and get and spend big money on players. So we look at Man City. They've for quite some time they had two or three players coming through into the first squad almost every season, and actually playing in the first team. So we want to be able to do that so that when we do want a player, like Man City, they buy maybe one or two sort of superstar players a season, and the rest they fill up from within the club. And I think that's where the technical directors should. I think in this iteration will be more involved in the youth setup and probably
Mm.
the women's team as well to actually build up that so we've got a robust conveyor of players coming in
Hey,
that are first team quality.
it wouldn't surprise me if just another, but like a DOF that's under Howe, they just call it a technical director. So Howe can tell him what to do.
What
I
what
wouldn't necessarily say he's under him. It could be on the same level.
Well, so what do you think then about this?
no, he'd
This
not be on
whole
the same level.
what do you think? See, what there you go. So Eddie Howe, I'm telling you, Eddie Howe can't do no wrong. So, roll it.
That is what has effectively been decided at the weekend for me.
Uh,
That was it. That was Eddie Howe turning round and saying, "My way
Or
or
the
out.
highway. That's unbelievable, by the way. The fact that you saying that with a
Take
straight
your
face.
pick."
So what do you think, Rolly, about that? By the way, you didn't you weren't able to interact with us then when then we'll go to Boki. But what do you think about that? Eddie Howe just picking out the magical wand, Harry Potter style. Said this is how it's going to be done. Bang, bang, bang. This is my club. I own it, and this is how it works. How do you think? What do you think, Rolly?
I think you're over egging it a bit there, but I think he's earned the right to have a big say in what goes on player wise with what he's
Hmm.
achieved since he's been at
I
the
agree
club.
with that.
Um, Obviously, he'll have the yay and nay on players, but he still has people above him that can rein him in if they think that he's overstepping the mark. But you look at it, as I say, you look at his achievements. Why wouldn't they let him run the footballing side the way he wants to? Because he's getting results.
Right. By the skin of our teeth, and I don't think
You know, it's
that's
well,
something to go.
Carabao Cup wasn't by the skin of our teeth.
No, that in itself, you're right. But are we going to give the keys to the club to somebody that has won
38 games in
a
the Premier
Carabao
League
Cup?
isn't skin of our teeth.
Yeah. The
No,
other
but
thing about it,
Aston Villa had to
say
lose.
that, but before we had a technical director, there was Eddie, Meardad, and Amanda making all the signings, like Bruno, like Dan Burn, like Botman. All
Trippier.
these uh, all these signings were done before the technical director actually came in. They've been very diligent in the way they bought people, and you can hardly there isn't depend on the timing of players being brought in. You could make an argument that they haven't missed on a signing.
Hmm.
I mean, obviously, Matt Target. You say, "Oh, what about him?" But at the time that they bought him, he did an excellent job, and his job was to keep us in the league, and he did. And then he's been knackered with injuries. People talk about Chris Wood only scoring 4 goals, but they were really important goals that either won us games or got us back into games.
But here's the thing now, sorry, I'm gonna get to Boki after I say this. You know, the problem that when you say he's earned the right, perfect. He's in the right to know what players. To determine what players come in and come out. Now there needs to be somebody that protects the interests of the club. And Eddie Howe can do bad because that's a possibility. You either win or lose.
Yeah.
So if he loses enough games to get sacked, then now we're in a predicament, right? Now we're in a situation. And by the way, let's not go that far. We sign players. Who decides their contracts? How long? Who decides that? Because Mitchell's about to leave in a month. So we just got to sign everybody now within 30 days so he can get the job done. Who decides that? Because Darren Niels I don't even know what's happening with him.
I think the other thing you got to remember that every transfer that we make has to be signed off by Yasser.
So but he's not negotiating. He's not calling clubs.
No, he dictates the parameters in which they can go. It's like, if you remember from the Amazon video, when they're talking about Anthony Gordon, they had to convince Yasser to pay the money. So Yasser makes the final say. If Yasser doesn't like what Eddie's doing, he'll put a stop to it.
Don't forget to smash the like button. It helps us a lot to keep growing. Subscribe to the channel, hit the bell for notifications, activate all notifications, that way you get notified every time we go live. And don't forget, you can become a member, get exclusive content, access to all of our live shows on demand at the time that you want. Also, of course, giveaways every month, sometimes multiple giveaways a month. So stay tuned for that. Check it out. Help support the channel. It's a small fee. And of course, you help us and grow. If you hate the Mackhams, smash that like button.
To save the bleeding races. When we got the wheel put on, away we went again. But them that had their noses broke, they came back our him. Some went to the dispensary, and some to Dr. Gibbs's, and some to the informer.